This is the 13 card Solomon spread, which always starts out with a beautiful ring of 6 that describes several energetic aspects of the moment that we're occupying right now. Our eternal moment, the one that extends from the moment we are born to the moment that we are dead. Foundation. No surprise there. It's the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, of course, is there to describe passion. For some reason, I want to say the words solar fuel. Whew. Okay, well, what are we fueling? Situationally speaking, I don't know. What do we want to learn about this next? Okay, well, you know what? I'm worried about my friend ATC. Not worried, but I'm interested in how they're doing. And I know that a great way to find out how they're doing is to find out how they're feeling about themselves in this moment. Let's take a peek. How do I feel about this card? The word gratitude wants to come forward. Not for the suffering that this card carries inside of it, but for the conclusion that this card represents, and the space that is created in the wake of that conclusion to begin anew. Did I mention that was the Ten of Swords? Did I explicitly say that's the Ten of Swords? You know, I'm looking at this now and realizing that we've got 2 out of the 3 points of the downward oriented triangle that is half of these first 6 cards. And here in this third node, the topic is imagination. What is on our mind? Not what is on our mind. I think the top card will embody that. What is in our mind's eye? What are we beginning to sketch upon the canvas of our possible futures? The Hierophantic 5. In the realm of passion. In the realm of passion. I got a message about these 5s a little earlier today. I'm not kidding. Let me see if I can bring it forward because the Hierophant is a card that insists, finally today, after what was, I'd ought to say, an intense emotional experience, I reached into myself and felt myself thinking of these 5s and realized for the first time what Pamela Coleman Smith may have been getting at. The 5 of Cups is grief and loss. The 5 of Swords is disappointment, failure. The 5 of Pentacles is the requirement for more work, the necessity for perseverance. Only here, when we find ourselves in the realm of passion, in the realm of the Wands, do we see something that is not out and out negative, and in fact can be interpreted positively. For all we know, this is meant to represent some form of joyful frolic, and this thus makes me think that the key to the 5's energy is here in the Wands. Okay, so I think of the 5 now as being the growth step, where you're ripping yourself out of the swamp of the Emperor. I'm thinking of myself about like the way that I used to be so scared of experiencing any kind of sadness. Like I couldn't cry, I was terrified of it. And it was like I just walled myself off from that forever. And it's only, and thus I was stuck in the Emperor. So you learn the lessons, you grieve in the 5 of Cups, and you experience failure and loss in the 5 of Swords, and you walk through it, and you grow from it, and you you learn perseverance in the face of adversity in the 5 of Pentacles. And then here you get to develop creatively, and whatever that ends up meaning, it's like you're building a spiritual pathway upward toward the divine, and I like that in this, just as an abstract way of looking into it. Beyond that, of course, you can get into the idea of whatever these dumb kids are doing. Who cares? Are they kids? I think they are. I think of them as kids, and then sometimes I'd like to imagine that they're trying to create an upright star shape, and it's taking a lot of work because they aren't very smart. We're switching to the upward oriented triangle now, to the point of it. And here, that testy little 5 turns into a 6 of cups. This card in particular, I feel like it's important to offer to you for your own interpretation, because it's a confusing image. Okay, so there you have it. That's exactly what ATC said. Well, that's me right now. I died and I came back. And now you're an innocent child and you're experiencing this innocent form of love for yourself in the number 6. Hot diggity. Thank you, ATC. I appreciate the assist. I'm going to have a small sip of Diet Coke. Before we think about what our context is, this is one of the cards. Let's think about this card. What is this card really getting at? In this case, I would interpret this as an energetic context. The first thing that's passing through my mind right now is the Jodorowsky 7s, the positive 7s, the 7s that are empowering, where you're giving birth out of the 6s, like the harmony of the double Empress 6s in perfect balance. Give birth to the new life of the 7s. You're surging upward in your spiritual growth. I like that for that 7 for some reason. But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that you're looking at a person who's in some form of passionate struggle. And then you look at the 7s and the 5s, and they both showed up, didn't they? Both of those effort cards showed up, because I think the 5s and the 7s are equally well, I guess like effort. Do you call grief effort? Yes. Why do I feel like I'm gonna just pass out right now? Yeah, because it's effortful. It's hard. It takes a lot of energy to open yourself up to those kind of powerful emotions, just to give emotions like the space to run around your body like that and break things. This final card that I will turn over in the initial 6 of what will ultimately be the 13 card, Solomon's Spread, is here to offer the deck a chance to weigh in for the first time, to suggest what it thinks the focus of the moment might be, the hierophantic focus of the moment. Well, if it isn't the Wheel of Fortune. And you feel the entire esoteric universe unspool before you. Every symbol vibrating and alive with the harmony offered in this card via those cycles of death and rebirth. And of course, because it's me here at the helm, I feel almost required to say that the Wheel of Fortune is there to insist that you set yourself free. The Wheel of Fortune, if it's me you're talking to, isn't a wheel at all, but a spiral, extending towards and away as it spins. Where are we coming from? Where are we now? Yes. There's your power. 8 wands. You're thinking about 5 wands. You're standing inside of 7. You are harmonizing along to 8 right now. That Ace of Wands, of course, is powering all of this. Look, this is all feeling so good to me right now. I'm feeling a bit inspired, if I might, because I'm sitting here staring up at this passionate burst that is crowned in this joyous sense of new love for self. I'm seeing the door close on something hard. Where are we going? Well. How about the Queen of Love? Maybe she's there to offer you her throne. Necessity dictates wisdom, clarity of vision. Necessity dictates divine vision. The ace is the only sword that's not held by human hands. To sum it up in a message, let's say, just stay true. Stay true to that inner voice that really knows the right move. Try to keep it as clean as possible. Don't complicate it in your own mind. That was sort of what I was getting out of my reading earlier. Hopefully that is helpful here. What will your liberty be in some way defined by, according to the cards? Card number 20 in the Major Arcana, Judgment. What about Supreme Reason? Well, TC, the cards are rocking in the free world for you this evening. Supreme Reason recommends that you reach in this moment defined by this Wheel of Fortune at 10. That you reach through that moment of transcendence embodied by card number 20, Judgment, toward paradise. Because this truly feels like it is really, really beckoning you towards the energies that this card evokes in its deepest and most specific symbolism. That you really are moving upward towards some form of new evolutionary position in the spiritual realm. You're ready to move toward the world. Your liberty defined by transcendence. And your only real necessity is to let yourself be guided by truth. Finally, the 13th card falls. And here is one final piece of commentary that the deck will be kind enough to offer us. So, here, at the very beginning of our read, sits the Ace of Wands. The holy fire burning. And the entire spread emanates from there. From the spiritual point of mystic contact. And within that mystic contact, we see the end of misery, the death and the rebirth, and the emergence of a newfound sense of pure love alongside a powerful and empowering spiritual harmony that's moving toward a new sense of openness and love as you prepare to radically shift your very spiritual world. The 13th card is simply saying, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. The Two of Wands, placing the power in your hands and asking where you'd like to go with that power. And on the bottom of the deck, there as a gentle lilting piece of music on the breeze, sits the card of divine love, vibrating happily alongside that 6. Does any of that hit? Do I need to fucking burn something right now as the way of saying thank you? Man, heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. But joyful, 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 and therefore light, light, light. Light, light, light.